What is going on, boys and girls of YouTube? Talk to you guys about these guides coming. They are coming. They are here. Be ready for them. Today is a warding guide. You guys are talking about warding, honestly, every season forever. But this map is new. There's a lot of really easy to ward spots that cover a majority of the map that you need covered. So we're going to go around and talk about it. We're going to talk about each role and what you should be warding. And I'm hoping this just helps make it so either you aren't getting ganked or your team just wins more games overall, because that vision should give you the control of the map you need to make decisions like fighting, ganking, retreating, going for objectives, all that stuff. So let's get into it. Let's talk about it. We're gonna start with mid lane because this is the center of the map and it makes sense to, work our way out as a mid laner. So mid lane, you're sitting in the mid lane. You've got 3 entry points, right? You've got an entry point right there, entry point right here, and entry point up there. This entry point is the easiest and most obvious ward to have at all times. A ward, you can min-max this out to like right here, I believe. It might even be here, but once you're here, you cover everything. So you put a regular ward here, it covers this entire area. No one can walk through this. No one can come through here. You cannot get ganked from this area of the map as long as you have that ward there at all times. Eventually, people will catch on, maybe after seeing this video, and you will start to have a ward battle over that spot, and a counter ward will be core for controlling this area. Your second ward, to me, should be very, very straightforward. You do not need this warded. You should not ever be playing on this side of the map and clearing. You should always be clearing on this left side of the map to keep you away from this side of the jungle. You do not want to be around this wall or this side of the jungle because you have this controlled. Why would you stand on this side when you know no one's over here? So this ward, if you want a defensive ward, you'll be warding in this general area to have control of anyone trying to loop in this way, or even come through here. This should give you enough vision, but like I said, you don't want to be hugging this wall either which way. I like an aggressive ward. So like I said, you could put your ward right here. This will give, like I said, more like right there. It'll give you the coverage you need leading into this area. You can move it a little bit farther back, more like this brown spot is more than likely where you'd be putting it, right here, or I'm jumping, and that would cover this area and cover out here. It's a little last second though, so I'm not a fan of this ward. I like aggressive wards. I like to know where people are. I like to know where they're pathing. So that's going to give you a ward in this area. This ward will cover all of this right here. It'll cover this whole cross section. So for someone to walk in through the jungle here, you will see them no matter what if you have this ward. The only way they'll get around is if they path through Fire Giant or they're pathing underneath, but that'll be covered by a different lane, your solo laner. So as a mid laner, these are your core wards by far in my position, my opinion, not my position. I'm not a mid laner. Sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. So again, over this area, cover this, and then an aggressive ward up here is my personal opinion for your wards there. All right, as an ADC, you're pretty much just warding for your own survivability at all times. This is actually not too difficult. Because of how far away the lane is from this jungle pathing, if you ward here and you ward the same exact spot here, there is no world you should ever get ganked. On top of the fact that you should be holding this left side of the lane, not the jungle side of the lane, it should be physically impossible for you to get ganked other than a Mercury ulting up the lane. That's it. It's that simple. Those are your 2 wards as a ADC. It's so basic. Now as a support, you're in a different position here. The old maps, so this before we get to that, these are going to be contested spots again. These are going to be spots you're counter warding and controlling. Counter wards are going to be your huge friends in Smite early game. Instead of buying 2 regular wards, if you're looking for kills being aggressive, a singular counter ward knocking out this vision from the enemy team will be massive. Absolutely massive. Now, for the support, first time in forever that I know of where the support just has to worry about the objectives. A deep ward up here is good for vision and know where people are rotating. Super deep up here, wherever. It's cool to know where people are rotating, but you don't need that as a support. That's not your job. As a support, control the Gold Fury Pit, control the Pyro. If you have vision in this area at all times, you are a legend and you've done your job, okay? It is so straightforward and basic. It takes no skill. It takes no effort to just simply walk on over and drop yourself an objective ward. Now, obviously, you don't need to ward fire early in the game, and Pyro isn't spawning until 10 minutes. keep this area warded, you know, later on in the game, or sorry, earlier on in the game, and then pyro warded, I can't speak, pyro warded early game, fire warded late game. All right, super simple, super basic. Now, as a jungler, warding is very similar to the other seasons when we've talked about it. Junglers, you want aggressive vision. You want it for yourself, you want it for your team. Aggressive vision lets you know what the enemy jungler is doing, so you can play around counter ganks. You can use that information to either go for your own gank, to fight where he's gonna fight, or to even pull an objective or go for counter farm and invade. I like multiple spots in this jungle. It's gonna be preference here. There's gonna be no core spot. So usually the jungler will not be doing speed to red. The timers don't match up like that. They very rarely do. So having this warded is actually not that crazy. A lot of the time, the jungler will be doing speed to blue and try to keep that timer on their own watch. And then having this timer can be very valuable because you could use it to invade. This is a 4-minute timer. It's longer than ever before. These camps are even more valuable than they've ever been before. So what I actually like to do is ward in this general area, or I will double lock down and just ward both sides of this map and ward in this area as well as that area. This is as the jungler. This is the right side. Now, if you're only singular warding, so if I only have this one singular ward you see on the top right of the map, my other ward will be on this side of the map always. Now, I like to use this for two purposes, knowing where the jungler is and knowing if the mid rotates. So I like to have a ward in this general spot right here. If I'm looking to know where the mid laner goes, it covers this whole area here. It covers this whole area. So if anyone passed through this, you know. Or I like to have these backs warded. Now, if these backs are warded, I don't think this warding in this area is valuable at all. I think you want to have the ward right here because it's going to give you purple information as well as any gank information coming out. So I would put that ward right here in this general spot. Very, very straightforward as a jungler. It is not difficult. Now, if you're not capable of getting this deep aggressive vision, you can just play around controlling objectives with your support. Or if someone is slacking on wards in another position, then you can make up for it by warding in their spots instead. Sometimes you have teammates that don't ward, right? So that's jungle vision. Very, very basic. Now, as a solo laner, you might think, oh, it's tanky solo lane season. I'm gonna be tanky anyway. I don't need to ward. You need to ward. Solo laners are getting ganked often. Very, very often. Now, the thing is, it's extremely hard to gank a solo laner right now if you're warding at all. If you ward this general area right here, right here, they can't get to you. Nobody can gank you. So if you put a ward right here, nobody can gank you, right? It's impossible. There's no other way to the lane. I can't come under here. I can't go through here if that's a ward. I can't loop around this rock. I can't path up through here. We're not going to gank behind the tower. So this is locked down. You should be able to react to a jungler coming in from right here very, very easily as long as you're not over-aggressing. Your other ward would be the same exact thing. You'd ward right here. The second I hit this ward, if you're backing out, you're gone. Instantly. The second you see me come into ward vision, which would be about right here, you leave. You back out, you never get ganked. If you have those two wards, you are ungankable. Now, if you have these two wards, the jungler is warding deep on both sides of the map. The ADC has this warded and this warded. Your mid has this warded and this area warded. And your support is controlling objectives. The whole map is warded. There is a pure line, uncrossable by anyone ever. So please, please, please take 2 seconds, put your wards down, spend your 50 gold. It is not a lot. It is insanely valuable to you and your teammates. It will win you the match. Having these wards will win you games. I promise you. So hopefully this ward guide helps out a little bit. Hopefully you guys liked the video. Please hit the like button if you did. Please make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I can't speak today. I appreciate you all. I will see you in the video later tomorrow, the next day, and the next day.